Okay, hey everybody, this is Grace, and this is the day after Memorial Day, 2026, and it's 7:18 p.m. And today was a busy day for me. I went to see a doctor. I was going to go to urgent care. I had an appointment, and I went to go in, but I was early, real early, like an hour and a half, around that, and they said I'd have to wait. They were going to lunch, and they have reduced staff during lunch, and they have other appointments. I said, I know, I understand. And then I went up to the SUV and had Adam go back in and tell him to cancel it. But one of the problems was sitting down, standing up for too long, because I have whatever happened to my feet. It was really weird, and I'm gonna find out. I'm going to my regular doctor's office, but I'm going to see a different doctor there because that's the only one that was available. And I don't know this doctor, but I'm going there tomorrow and see if she can tell me, or she can, tell me who to go to, refer me to whomever, a doctor, whether it's a podiatrist or a dermatologist. Is something just weird. My feet feel like they turn really red and feel like sandpaper and old leather. Really weird. But anyway, I'll find out tomorrow. Yeah, I had to get off of 3 medications this year since St. Patrick's Day. One of them I started on St. Patrick's Day. The other one I started. Today's May 26th. I started about 3 weeks ago, and one of them I took one, and that was enough. It was the world was doing roller coaster ride, like a roller coaster ride around me, and I was laying on the bed. Just a few hours after I took it, no, not gonna happen. So it was 3 medications. The first one was from a rare health condition, and yeah, but I came out here, I wasn't going to talk about that because all of my videos seem to be talking about that. Because I had pneumonia on top of all that from the city doing the street work. And man, when we were out today, everywhere we turned there was dirt piles, concrete piles, rock piles. I mean, huge ones. There are so much construction going on. Unbelievable amount of construction going on. From here to I guess you go through 2 suburbs of Dallas to get to where I was today, I think. And man, seriously, so much construction. But what did I come out here to talk about? I came out here with a purpose, thought on my mind. Well, I was going to talk about what I cooked today. Just now I had the best burrito I can say that I ever had in my life. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit. I made it. Adam and I made it, and I came up with it all. Not exactly. When I was a teenager, one of my sisters, she's the eldest sister, she is probably 4 years older than I've forgotten. Yeah. Not been around her much my whole adulthood. And anyway, she had worked for a Mexican restaurant, not Tex-Mex. I don't think it was Tex-Mex. I think it was authentic. A Mexican restaurant when she was 17 in high school, they called it VOC. I don't know what they have now. But it was after school program that, people get credit for if they work. When they're seniors, juniors, and seniors, I think. And she did that, and she learned how to make burritos. And basically, what they did was use jalapeno pinto beans, a can of jalapeno pinto beans, the juice included. Adam was, he's older than I, and he was frying the hamburger meat, and then onions, chopped. I had to chop the onions because he puts big chunks, and that overpowers the flavor of everything. I want them small diced. And also the beans, This time I used Bush's. I never seen it before, but it's low sodium jalapeno pinto beans. I think it was Bush's, and we needed one of those smashers. Well, we both said it's been years since we used one. You usually use them for potatoes, to make potatoes. What is it called? Smush potatoes. I haven't had those in ages. I've not made them in, I don't know, decades. But I haven't made these burritos in decades. But anyway, so it's a hamburger meat, fried onions with it. We didn't put any spices, didn't need to, because those low sodium Bush's jalapeno pinto beans was 1 can, small. I mean, not the usual size can, not a big old family one. But that, and it had plenty of spice in it. And what else we put in? That was basically it. And he smushed up the beans in it, and then I put it on tortillas, folded them 4-way, 4, and the small about 6 inches, I think they are, and I made 4 of them, and I only ate 1. They're not big burritos, they're small. Not the street taco shells, no, tortillas, the ones in between that and the big ones. Depends on where you live, really. And right before they got done completely, I wanted to put the cheese inside of it, but I didn't. But because I was afraid it would burn it. Yeah, shredded cheese. I waited till like it was 5 minutes. Needed to be done 5 minutes, and I put shredded cheese while it's still in the oven. Cooked it for another 5 minutes, baked it another 5 minutes. And oh man, delicious. Now, when my sister learned how to do it, she also smushed up a can of, what is it called? Oof. Those ranch style beans. Well, I forgot the name of the brand. Oh, I can't remember, but I never could handle those ranch style. Never could handle them. And I think it was one of them you smushed. I think it was that one, and then the other one, the jalapeno pinto beans. It's got to be the jalapeno ones. You don't. It was something like that. But man, you talk about good. Oh my goodness, it was so good. And I cooked them the first time around. I think it was for like 15 minutes, and maybe 15 minutes. And then, like I said, I added, once that went off, I added the cheese on top, put it back in there. Well, I didn't even take it out, but turned it back on for 5 minutes and let it bake again. Well, they were soft. They weren't hard like I remember them. We used to make them cooked in the oven, and the shell, the tortilla would make a shell practically, really. But this was still so good. And Adam, he even said the same thing. It was really good. So, but when we have some meat left over, he wants to give the dogs some meat. He spoils those dogs rotten. I'm telling you, we have 2 inside dogs, and he spoils them rotten, and they're too big. They need to be smaller, and I keep telling him, don't feed them so much people food. We've heard stories about you don't feed them any people food. I'm not a voice of authority on that, and I can tell you, I have lived long enough to know, way long before now, that people will say, you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't do this. Oh, then they turn around and years later say, well, it's okay that you do, whatever it is. Yourself, your dogs, your cats, your whatever. Somebody's gonna say, don't do this. Instead, buy mine. Here, see? You know what I mean? Oh yeah. Instead, take this. We sell them. You no longer know who to trust, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so that was good. Now I need to start taking photos I'm just now getting over all that pneumonia. Today was the first day that I went out. I went to that and I walked by myself. And then at the second one, I did have to have Adam help me a little bit. Not really. I just kind of held on to his arm. We came out of one of them because he walks really fast, and then he expects me to keep up with him. And I just got over pneumonia. Not happening, And even before then, I was having trouble. So, now I have an inhaler for, the asthma. So, I use it once daily. And if not more, it just depends on what happens. But it's actually a rescue inhaler, but they told me to use it daily if I need to. I found that I need to. I found if I don't use one, in the morning every day, that's by nighttime I'm suffering. So, anyway, we'll just see as I get over all this. But I need to learn to remember to. I've been making videos for August will be 12 years on YouTube, starting with my original channel. But I need to, get back in the swing of it. My channels are dead channels now because I got sick. I didn't watch videos. I didn't make videos. I had some still on my phone. I think they're still on my phone from April. This is May 26th. And even early April. And because I got sick. And I just did not feel like doing any of that. I was so sick. Just pneumonia, just walking from one room to the other. And like I said, I've said in videos, also other ones, it was because the city was, I live in a nice neighborhood. It doesn't really matter. And they were fixing the sidewalks. Like at the end of the sidewalks where people, like if somebody's disabled, they have to meet some kind of standard. And they didn't, so they were fixing all of them in the whole, the estates. We live in estates. I guess there's some difference between just calling it a subdivision, but it's called the estates. And they did that, and then I got sick. And the ER, they came back after I started feeling better. I got about 10 or so days. And to do an alley. We don't have an alley on this side, but that side. And they had been working in the neighborhood, the whole place. And it was so windy and so much. I got really sick. In the ER, when I went there, they said, yeah. And they put on the thing that his suspicion of pneumonia, which I have had plenty of pneumonia in my lifetime. I remember they used to say it this way: you don't catch pneumonia, you develop pneumonia. And so some I've only ever had it whenever I would catch like a flu or a cold or something. And so this was my first time to get it that I know of, from concrete and dirt and everything, up in the air and all that. So interesting. Anyway, I'm wrapping this up. But I do need to start taking pictures, because for the first time, I made, I think in my life, chicken noodle soup a couple weeks ago, I guess, or a week or so. And Adam, he's older than I. Oh my goodness, he ate most of it. I mean, I had a little bitty plate, put a little bitty plate on to taste it, and he ate the rest over 2 days. And he said, I just loved it. It was so good. And I had a secret ingredient was, the rest of it was me cooking, just cooking it. And the secret ingredient was a can of condensed Campbell's chicken noodle soup. That's what I grew up on. It still says condensed. I looked to see. And the directions do say add the soup and add a cup of water. The can you put water in, put it in there too. And I say that because when I was young, I mean, I grew up on this stuff. And my mother used to always do that. And I had a brother-in-law, one of my oldest sister's husband, her ex-husband now, but for many years. He said, no, that's not how you're supposed to do it. He said, your mother was just cheap. No, it says on it condensed. He was just stupid. Actually, he was the only supposedly genius that I knew besides myself. Seriously. Wrapping it up.